September, I went from being unemployed to working my first full-time job. At the time, I was also training for a marathon, and if you've ever trained for a marathon, you know it takes a lot of time. My daily routine was to wake up at 4:30 a.m., train, eat breakfast, work a full day, sit in traffic, train again, eat dinner, and go to sleep. I like being busy, but I didn't like the way that my new routine was making me rush through life. I'm notorious for driving below the speed limit, and for the first few weeks at my new job, I was going the speed limit on the way to work. I knew I couldn't keep it up, so I started to make some changes.
Life gets busy. When it does, we might be tempted to rush through our commitments and responsibilities just to tick them off our to-do list. In those moments, we're generally not paying attention to how we feel. Instead, we often end up feeling disconnected.
So I woke up this morning really craving a smoothie, and then I didn't have bananas, and that's the one like non-negotiable in my smoothies. So I was like, I'll just have some cereal to tide myself over. And then when I arrived at Jamba Juice, he said we're all out of bananas, but they still had like frozen bananas, so they could still make the base and everything. It was fine. And he just like let me put everything on there. And he was super kind, and now I have a smoothie. And I haven't seen you guys in a while because I just moved and I just got a new job. But I wanted to vlog this week because it's fall right now, and Colorado is not a real place, and it's so beautiful every day, and I take a picture every day, and fall is also so fleeting, and I want it to stay fall forever, and it's not going to, so I was hoping to capture as much of it as I can. Also, I've been a little stressed out lately, I'd say for 3 reasons, but these are all going to be like their own videos. I'm upset that it's getting to me, but I'm stressed, and when I do feel stressed, vlogging helps me a lot for some reason. So I thought I'd vlog this week. I can't show you guys anything at work, so I'll check back in about 8 hours.
There's nothing that stresses me out more than running late. It's always been my greatest fear. So I already have a pretty strong habit of leaving myself like buffer room in my schedule. I'm extremely lucky that I can pretty much show up to work whenever I want, but even when I was working at Starbucks, I got into this habit of leaving 30 minutes before I had to leave. So that way, if anything happened, I could still show up to work on time. And if things went perfectly smoothly, then I would be early for my shift. I could eat, I could check my emails, or I could just exist for a little while.
I really like my job, but as soon as 4:30 hits, I'm ready to leave. Really quickly trying to prepare like batter for these muffins that I want to bring to work tomorrow, because Claire invited me to make a Halloween gingerbread house with her, but this recipe is a little more involved than I thought it was. That's okay, because we're not in a hurry. So since there were a lot of things I wanted to do tonight, and then this thing with Claire came up, I kind of had to prioritize and choose what was really important to me.
It bothers me when people say they don't have time for something and they still spend hours a day watching Netflix. That being said, I do think it's possible to just have too many things on your plate, too many things going on in the week that you can't fit anything else in. You don't have time to rest. But there's a difference between not having time because you choose to spend it on fluff and not having time because you're overscheduled. Both of these problems require you to take an honest look at your schedule.
I had to do this week because this is what my sweet potato looks like. I've been vlogging a lot. You just caught me on a good week. Well, actually, it was a bad week. I was really stressed, and then I was like, you know what makes me less stressed? Vlogging. I just dropped some everything bagel muffin mix on the ground. Usually, like, oh my god, and my legs are so short. Oh my god.
I can get it.
No, I got it. Basement?
Mm-hmm.
I love basements. Really easy.
For little hands. Instead of sequins, they have Halloween quins.
Is the whole house this small? Easy build tray.
I don't know that I've ever had one of the candy pumpkins because I'm loyal to the candy corn.
Yeah, candy pumpkins aren't as good. When you follow the directions too hard. I can tell you've been crafting.
Hi, Bodhi. This will not be good for you.
You're so soft and happy.
Oh, that's a little close.
The house. New gym crush.
Naturally.
I listened to Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo for the first time. Unrelated. I haven't just been living under a rock. Like I've always heard it in the background and been like, I don't really like that song. So this was the first time I listened to it, like start to finish, full volume.
Yeah.
Really experienced it. It's actually a good song. At first I was like, oh my god, like teenagers shouldn't be singing about love. They don't know anything. But it's very powerful. Claire, what's your favorite movie? I've been asking everyone. It's my question of the week.
Oh boy. That's a really hard question.
This is serious knife.
I really like Stranger Than Fiction. That's like the answer that I give people.
Okay.
What
Is
about
there
you?
like an answer that you don't give people, but is the real answer?
No, I don't think so.
Do you want to give it to the vlog? In case you were wondering what the inside of a Reese's Pieces looks like. Look, isn't he so good? If you don't have time for things that you want to do and things that you care about because you're spending too much time on activities that are less meaningful, you have to recognize that before you can start making any changes. Don't get me wrong, I think that rest is so important, but if scrolling on social media all the time doesn't make you feel really good, maybe it's time to think about other options. I had this problem mostly during COVID when there wasn't as much on my calendar and I was like watching a lot of YouTube, but I really like to go outside or make art, do coloring pages, go for walks. Those things make me feel better. I really miss living over on this side of town. I don't know why. I can't put it into words, but being able to park in a parking lot, for one thing, that's nice. It's such a nice day. Fall in Colorado. I mean, it's kind of annoying because it's like frigid in the mornings, but then really nice during the day. But the part where it's really nice during the day is really nice. I'm gonna jump in our pool. Sometimes you just need water. On the other side of the coin, if you're constantly overbooking yourself, take a look at what's on your calendar and what's really important to you. It's race day. Race was just okay. Beautiful, but I didn't really hit the pace I wanted to. That's okay. Now I have to go run some additional miles because it's supposed to be my long run day. My legs feel like I just ran 17 miles. I feel like I deserve a trip to the Nike store, but the Nike store's kind of far away. It was like 72 up north and I was like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be 80 down in the city, and it's like a full-on dust storm right now. I've been seeing this grocery store for forever and I've always been wanting to go. And you know, it's just like another overpriced bougie grocery store, but I love overpriced bougie grocery stores. And they had this. It's called a Kiwano melon, and a passion fruit. So I got those to try. And this was like $7, but that's fine. Just discovered that City Park has like a place to play wall ball, but I evidently forgot my lacrosse ball. I have my lacrosse stick, but not my ball. It's actually really cold. I just like wrote about my race and where I think I did well, what I can improve on, and I got my workout schedule in order. Lately, it's really been a mental thing rather than a physical thing. It's just been really hard.
It's important to notice and define what really matters to you, and that way you can find the things that you're willing to let go of. Regarding my schedule, I'm in a really privileged position because I set my own start and end times for the workday. I don't have any family commitments. I don't have to work more than 40 hours a week to pay my bills. While maybe not everyone has control over their schedule, everyone can control their mindset. A trick I learned when I was really young to help me forget about scary stories was to divert my attention to puppies whenever, it sounds really silly, but to divert my attention to puppies whenever the story popped into my mind. And that creates a new pathway for your brain, so that instead of worrying and getting stressed and being scared, your brain switches and flips to thinking about puppies instead, which hopefully is a pleasant thing for you to think about. I kind of have grown to apply this to different scenarios, and when I was finding myself rushing all the time, I would train my brain to think this mantra: don't be in a hurry.
Trying to eat my lunch, and I have to go leave to coach soccer in like 20 minutes. I'm trying not to have that thought in the back of my mind and just enjoy my meal, and like maybe I just won't finish it. Rather than rushing through it and trying to finish it all before I leave, trying to take my time, and if I don't finish it, that's fine, because I'm gonna come back in a little bit.
I would go the distance if you could take a plane. If you kept me waiting on your word.
You can try to find the root of the problem. So if you find yourself in a hurry, pause for a moment and try to understand what's making you feel that way. If we can unpack the stress of what is causing us to be in a hurry, we can get to the root of the problem and start changing those pathways in our brain that cause the stress and the anxiety that make us want to feel like we're in a rush. For me, a lot of the time it went back to my concern about being late, and I had to remind myself that I had given myself the buffer room and I wasn't going to be late. And even if I was late, and I'm not trying to encourage anyone to make a habit out of being late, because it can be disrespectful, but it happens to people every once in a while. So I was just trying to retrain my brain to not have this stress reaction to this fear of being late. I always say we all die anyway. There's nothing to be afraid of. There's no need to be in a hurry.
Said I promise you would, if you could do the same. I would go
So thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.
the